Hi, welcome back, YouTube. Okay, so excuse me, I sent out a little teaser a couple of days back. Um, Something that I've always wanted to get in the shop was a dividing head and a rotary table for different jobs that I've had. But my real decision to pull the trigger was I happened to look at my gears on my mini lathe. Okay. Now, it sort of bothered me when I first bought the lathe, but you know what? It's a mini lathe. It's I'm sorry, not Harbor Freight. It's a Grizzly and Chinese import, right? Plastic. Starting to show a little bit of wear on the gearing itself. Nothing to the extreme, but I don't want it to get that way either. So I pulled the trigger, spent the money on the rotary table slash dividing head with the tailstock. I ordered in some cutters, M1 cutters, because that's what my lathe takes is M1 cutters. Or M1 pattern. And I thought to myself, well, you know what? Yeah, I can do this. And I started counting up the gears. Alone, it's just 17 gears just for the change gears. That's not the drive coupling. That's not the overall headstock. All of the drive gears in the headstock too. I'll get to those. One of them is sort of like a compound type gear. It basically has like a hollow center, and then there's two on the inside like that. So that's going to take a little bit more, but I'll get there with that. My main thing right now is I want to get my change gears done. So in the teaser, you did see that I had the rotary table up and everything worked good. Now I went ahead and it's here somewhere. Well, I misplaced it, but I'll find it as we're talking. I went ahead and ordered what I thought was from Banggood a whole set, and it came as one cutter. That was a rather expensive cutter, but anyways, it was M1, but yet it gave me the ability to experiment. It was a number one, which I believe was 12 through 15 gears, or teeth rather, sorry, and this arbor. This arbor is good. So far it's turning well within spec. There's no real big run out on it. So I'm happy with that. Not happy with the cutters. Situation with the cutters. So I went on Amazon, and I ordered a whole nother set of cutters. They'll be coming in, but there's a lot of prep work that I had to do. So my next step was I had to get the material to make these, right? So I went to metal supermarkets. They priced it out for me in round stock, but because there were no drops that size, they're going to have to cut it, which is an additional charge. It was like close to $100 and some. Well, I can buy them for that, okay? They're cast. All right, so I figured I wanted to make them out of aluminum. Don't know if this is the greatest move, but that's what I'm going to make them out of. I read my machinist handbook, and aluminum for this application seems to be okay to do, so I'm going to do that. Okay, so an arbor to bring it to size, and also to face the gear on one side, flip it over, face the other side, just so that, first of all, we get a boss on the back for clearance, which I don't know, how many people are watching that are doing any gear cutting themselves. But if you score across there, you're going to see there's clearance on the top and there's clearance on the bottom, just so that the gear won't mesh up against any of the mechanism of the machine. There's a 3mm brooch. I ordered that. I've got to make a plug for it. I have that in the vise. If you look at the video, there was this little piece of chunk of metal in my Kurt style vise. That was a plug for my brooch. So I have the brooch. I have everything. And I got done with making of the arbor to my mandrel. So now this should take and cut all of the gears from my 20 tooth all the way up to 80. So that's my range, 20 to 80. And we're going to chuck it up here, live center here, and then we're just going to make our cuts. So that's where it stands with that. I have two different bore sizes on my gears. The bigger size, which is this 472 thousandths, what it is to millimeter. I don't have the conversion for you just yet. And then I have 120 gear and one, I believe it's 25 gear, that are going to come in at 392. Yeah, it is. It's a 25 gear at 392 thousandths. So I only have two of those gears. I will fashion up another arbor, but this one isn't. I think I had a piece that was cut and laying on the side. That's actually what I'm going to be using. There shouldn't be that much stress to make it so that it's going to deflect that much. So what I've been doing, concentrating on is, oh, let's get back to the stock. So I went over to where the drops were, and I saw they had flat stock. So 3/8 flat stock. So I'm thinking to myself, wow, you know, I suppose I could take and get my dividers and go around and figure out what I needed. And that worked out well. Took a little bit of time on my saw to rough them out, but they came out rather well. I don't know if you can sort of see that. Yeah, they may not be perfectly round, but there's my center. So I'm putting these now in my 3-jaw chuck, or 4-jaw chuck, sorry. And there's enough material on the side where I should be able to, I could be probably 30-40 thousandths off my center, and I still have cleanup. But I went ahead and I sort of like just real lightly stamped what the tooth value was on these. So this one here, for example, is a 40, and then these are going to be the 20. So round, more or less. Okay, close enough as far as I can see. So that's where I stand with that. Again, this is going to be short videos. I think if you really watch my channel and watch what I do, you're probably that far advanced in machining or hobby machining that you're gonna follow what I'm doing. So there shouldn't be a real big mystery. What I'm doing here is not rocket science. I'm just making gears for my mini lathe, and I'm doing it with clearance. I think it's 0.003, and I believe that's in millimeter. It could be in decimal. I got to look a little bit closer, but yeah, that's the gear that I made right there, and I'll just spin it around, and you know, you can see. I'll never use it. Probably put it in my toolbox and just look at it from time to time. Well, okay, that's going to be it for right now. So I would consider this really like a part 2, because the teaser I would say would be part 1. I'm just going to go through, get the bore sizes all done, and I have like 7 more I think that I have to do as far as bore sizes. We'll get those bores down to size, and then the first thing is going to be we're going to be putting this on the Mini. Going to bring it to diameter. I may have to make another end plug here, because if you had noticed when I showed you the plastic gears, it's just a little bit bigger than 5/8 of an inch. So I'm going to have to reduce this washer size here to accommodate just a little under that 5/8. So maybe I'll make it I don't know, 9/16, just so there's enough clearance that when I come down through here I'm able to back out and I'll establish my hub. Okay, well, thank you for watching. Like I said, I have more content for you. I'd appreciate if you come along on the ride with me. It's going to be a hell of a journey. All right, YouTube. Thanks for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And I hope you are somewhat entertained by, or maybe I give you a little bit of knowledge for our hobby, our craft, our life. Okay. Thank you, YouTube.